Right now on Good Morning Charleston, feeling the pain, the message from President Donald Trump amid sweeping tariffs announced over the weekend and the talks set to happen today. Plus, weighing their options, a meeting happening tonight on Folly and the ideas city leaders have for bringing affordable housing to the island.
The Super Bowl festivities will be kicking into high gear starting today. At the live desk, I'll tell you how the city and local police have prepared for the celebration to be as safe as possible.
Good morning, Charleston. I'm Mel Orland. Thanks so much for starting your Monday morning with us. First at 6, Charleston Clark is tracking traffic this morning because Bob is off. Charleston, what's it looking like out there?
Yeah, so earlier on I had mentioned that there was a report of a crash on 526 eastbound. So I think that's what you're looking at right there on the right side of your screen. So I pulled up two of the closest cameras. Haven't been able to get a good view of this. DOT on their website saying, unknown lanes closed. So, use caution in this area. You see those flashing lights, take it easy. Of course, seeing those delays along 526 eastbound this morning. I'm also seeing those delays now on 26 eastbound as you're merging on to 526 eastbound. So prepare for those delays. Give yourself plenty of extra time. You'll want to give yourself plenty of extra time regardless because of that fog, but then you factor in, this crash and that traffic backing up. Just give yourself a few extra minutes. It's going to take you 40 minutes right now on 526 from West Ashley to Mount Pleasant. Otherwise, I went through the cameras on 26 east and westbound, not seeing any crashes there. Of course, that slowdown as you merge on to 526. Only going to take you 20 minutes right now on 26 from Somerville to downtown, but we'll continue to see that volume build. And of course, I'll let you know if there are any additional crashes or incidents to report on.
This News Board Traffic Tracker Update was sponsored by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician.
And of course, I did mention that fog. We're seeing widespread dense fog this morning. So we do have a dense fog advisory in effect until 9 o'clock. And that's because we're seeing about a half-mile visibility or less. For most of us, it's about a quarter-mile visibility or less. So slow it down. Use extra caution and remember to never use your high beam headlights when traveling through that fog. Use your low beams and or your fog lights. And of course, give yourself a little bit of extra room between you and the vehicle in front of you. Otherwise, we're starting the day off dry but chilly. 39 in Walterboro and Moncks Corner, 41 in Somerville, and 42 in Charleston. I didn't think I'd get the chance to bring out the iced coffee forecast so soon in the year, but we'll take it. We'll be nice and mild as we head through your Monday. Mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the lower 70s, so I say treat yourself to a medium iced coffee. We're going to take a full look at that forecast, talk about what's on tap for the week ahead. That's all coming up here in just a little bit.
We subsidize Canada by the tune of about $200 billion a year. And for what? What do we get out of it? We don't get anything out of it. I love the people of Canada. I disagree with the leadership of Canada. And something's going to happen there. But if they want to play the game, I don't mind. We can play the game all they want.
President Donald Trump is doing exactly what he promised he'd do on his campaign trail, launching a trade war with two of our country's closest neighbors, Mexico and Canada. Trump announced 25% tariffs on goods from both countries starting just after midnight tomorrow. Canada is the largest export market for 36 of our states, and Mexico is America's largest trading partner. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau responded over the weekend, not mincing any words. He said President Trump's decision to impose 25% tariffs on Canadian goods will hurt Americans. Trudeau said Canada will respond in kind and slap a 25% tariff on American goods coming into his country.
This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives.
President Trump said yesterday these tariffs on Mexico are, quote, retaliatory to a certain extent. He noted millions of people have entered the U.S. through Mexico and Canada and made it clear his administration will continue to fight back against that. these tariffs being part of that effort. Later today, Mexico is set to unveil details on its retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods. That's according to a statement by the Mexican president. President Claudia Sheinbaum made it clear Mexico doesn't want confrontation. She says if the United States wants to combat criminal groups, our countries must work together. She's asking America to share responsibility and work with trust and respect for each other's people. President Trump plans to speak with leaders in Canada and Mexico today, but he's not expected to change his mind.
As fans prepare to head to New Orleans for the Super Bowl, law enforcement agencies warn the game and its celebrations are attractive targets for potential attacks. State and federal agencies say they're concerned about the potential threat of copycats and place Louisiana under a state of emergency. Early on New Year's Day, an ISIS-inspired terrorist plowed an electric pickup truck into pedestrians on Bourbon Street, killing 14 people and injuring dozens more. The city is implementing more security measures, saying new barriers and wedges are now in place, and hundreds of local, state, and federal agencies will be deployed. About 100,000 visitors are expected in New Orleans for the Super Bowl.
Happening tonight, Folly Beach leaders are set to finalize recommendations that could bring more affordable housing to the island. Lauren Lennon spoke with city officials and joins us outside of Folly Beach's city council chambers. Lauren, what can you tell us about these recommendations?
Yeah, good morning, Mel. Well, a city official tells me the Planning Commission was tasked with addressing affordable housing last year. Since then, she says the commission has heard from local experts, done research on the area, and even gotten feedback from the community on the issue. Now, they've heard from community members and, like I mentioned, those local experts on this issue. So these recommendations include being discussed in tonight's meeting. One, a possible housing stipend increase for public safety workers, as well as an increase to the amount overall so more people can qualify for the stipend. Another, participating in the National Lease to Locals program, where homeowners are incentivized to turn their houses either from short-term rentals to long-term rentals or from an empty second home to a long-term rental. And third, different ways to potentially allow accessory dwelling units, which are living spaces on the same lot as single-family residential spaces. Now, more details on what that would look like will be discussed tonight.
The idea is that for the people who are wanting to address this and to help this, the idea is that these people who are the backbone of our economy should have housing available to them that is closer in. It makes them part of our community and gives them better options for locations.
Now, one restriction unique to Folly that comes up during the discussion of affordable housing is that as a resort town, Stevens says they are, quote, built out. She explains they don't have the space or land to incorporate buildings like high rises. Now, Stevens emphasized that these are just recommendations as of now. City Council has the authority to implement them. Now, during tonight's Planning Commission meeting at 7 p.m. members will vote to finalize these recommendations, and a report will be presented to City Council at their meeting next week to kind of give them an idea of what the Planning Commission has in mind ahead of budget season. Working for you in Folly Beach, Lauren Lennon, News 4.
All right, Lauren, thank you. Speaking of housing, this afternoon, the City of Charleston's Design Review Board meeting to consider two proposals that would bring more homes to the Lowcountry. One would be in West Ashley, the other on James Island. The West Ashley proposal would bring 11 affordable housing units to Ashley River Road. The James Island proposal is for a 4-story building with 61 potential units along Maybank Highway. The meeting starts at 4:30 downtown. Also today, you've got the chance to help save a life. The American Red Cross is hosting a blood drive at Cruz Chevrolet off Rivers Avenue from 11 to 4 p.m. If you donate, you'll get a free pint of Culver's custard. Walk-ins are welcome. Today, several groups will remove and destroy abandoned boats in our Lowcountry waterways. The State Department of Natural Resources, Charleston Harbor Police, Charleston County Service Department, Charleston County Landfill, and the Wounded Nature Group will pull them out of the water. This is happening at the Limehouse Boat Ramp starting at 9 o'clock this morning.
Big Game Trivia on News 4 is sponsored by Southeastern Spine Institute and Ambulatory Surgery Center.
And now's your chance to play Big Game Trivia. Grab your phone and scan this QR code right there on your screen for your chance to win a $100 prepaid debit card. Sign in and get the trivia question right, and you can win the daily $100 prize. The daily prize winners will also be eligible for a chance to win the National Weekly $5,000 drawing. Again, scan this QR code on your screen or go to the website to sign in and play Big Game Trivia. Good luck.
We've got widespread dense fog out there across the low country this morning. We'll talk more on the dense fog advisory that's in effect and what we can expect once that fog does burn off. That's coming up here in just a few minutes.
And developing overnight, Elon Musk now has access to the country's federal payment system. Just ahead, what this means and how it could affect some of your sensitive information. Later at 6:30, accused of impersonating an ICE officer. The Eugene man who went viral for a video of him harassing Hispanic men is out on bond. The charges he faces and what his family had to say about him during his bond hearing. But first, the legal battle with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is headed to court today. ABC's Ariel Reshef has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's legal showdown.
Come on.
What?
What are you doing?
The It Ends With Us co-star's attorneys scheduled to appear in a Manhattan courtroom in just hours for the first hearing of the dueling lawsuits that have rocked Hollywood.
I thought we were friends.
We're not friends.
Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds attempting to have Baldoni's $400 million defamation countersuit thrown out after the A-list actress accused her co-star of sexual harassment and inappropriate conduct during the filming of their movie and trying to destroy her reputation.
I want a divorce.
Allegations Baldoni has vehemently denied. In his defense, Baldoni launching a new website over the weekend. And coming up at 7 a.m., more on the contentious case. With your GMA First Look, I'm Ariel Reshef, ABC News, New York.
No more gross cough syrup.
I want you to feel better.
I want extra TV time or I'll walk.
How about this?
Introducing the only Kids Soft Chew for medicated cough relief. New Mucinex Children's Mighty Chews are mighty clever.
Febreze. Hi, I use Febreze Fade Defy Plug.
And I use this.
Febreze has a microchip to control scent release, so it smells first day fresh for 50 days.
50 days?
And its refill reminder light means I'll never miss a day of freshness. Febreze Plug.
Special K. For all the special reasons you move. Like being an absolute boss.
Mike had a heart attack a year ago, but he's still living in the red with a very high risk of another attack. With his risk factors, his recommended LDL-C level should be below 55. Are you at risk? Learn how to get a free LDL-C test at attackheartdisease.com.
That crash there on 526 eastbound has traffic creeping and crawling, and at times like right now coming to a stop. Not sure of how many lanes are closed, if there are any lanes closed because of this crash. I'm looking on the DOT site and it just says unknown lanes closed. But regardless, you can see that traffic backing up. And when we look a little bit closer to I-26 eastbound as you're trying to merge onto 526, it's going to be very slow going there as well because that traffic is barely moving there on 526 eastbound. So again, that crash right around exit 19, it's going to put you right around North Rhett and Virginia Avenue. So use caution if you are traveling through this area this morning. I'll keep you posted on when this crash is cleared and when we'll start to see that traffic thin out some. Otherwise, just went through all the cameras along 26 eastbound, not seeing any crashes or incidents. But of course, you're going to be a little bit slower. You're going to start tapping the brakes around College Park Road. It'll be slow going down through the interchange. And once you get past there, things are looking much better and you'll be smooth sailing all the way to the city.
This News 4 Traffic Tracker Update was sponsored by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician. Good morning, Charleston. We're working for you with a Storm Tracker Update.
You know, and when it comes to those roads this morning, you're really going to want to use caution out there, not only because of that crash, but because of that dense fog. Now, this is our camera that sits on top of the Hotel Indigo here in Mount Pleasant. This overlooks the Ravenel Bridge, Charleston Harbor, and normally you can see the bridge. You're not seeing anything this morning, and that's because of how dense that fog is. 42 degrees right now in Charleston. We've got that dense fog advisory in effect until 9 o'clock this morning for the entire low country, and that's because we're seeing about about a half-mile visibility or less. So very dense across the low country. Slow it down, use extra caution, never use your high beam headlights when traveling through that fog, and allow yourself a little bit of extra distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. Otherwise, we're starting the day off dry, but we're also chilly. 39 in Moncks Corner and in Waldoboro, 41 in Somerville, and 42 in Charleston. As you get the kids out the door this morning, make sure that they're packed with that jacket because, again, it is chilly out there. We'll hang on to that dense fog early on this morning. By the mid to late morning hours, we'll see that fog burn off, and we'll be left with plenty of sunshine through the afternoon. Temperatures topping out into the lower 70s by the afternoon. So there's that fog that'll stick around through the mid to late morning hours, and you'll notice that it could stick around a little bit closer to the coast. The rest of us, mostly sunny skies, and we'll be watching for the potential for fog development as we go into tonight as well. Temperature is going to stay above average in the low to mid 70s, possibly some upper 70s as we head through the week. And then we look 8 to 14 days out from now. This is what I was talking about earlier, after Morning Buzz, if you were tuned in for that, this puts us into the middle of February, and it looks like those above average temperatures will be sticking around through the middle of this month. So if you haven't been able to get out and enjoy the sunshine and mild temperatures, don't worry, I think you've got plenty of time into the next week or two.
Overnight, thousands of people protesting mass deportations marched in Southern California and Texas. In downtown Los Angeles, demonstrators blocked a major freeway for several hours. They called for immigration reform and carried banners with slogans like "Nobody is illegal." Marchers sat down and blocked all lanes of Highway 101, causing traffic to back up in both directions. It took more than 5 hours for the freeway to fully reopen. The Los Angeles Police Department said there were no reports of arrest.
We turn now to Elon Musk and what's being described as a hostile takeover of the government agency USAID. Musk is also facing scrutiny after the Treasury Department gave his government efficiency team access to the massive federal payment system, including Social Security payment information. ABC's Christian Cordero has the latest.
Overnight, sources confirming that Elon Musk has been given access to the U.S. Treasury Department's vast payment system. The move essentially puts the government's multi-trillion-dollar checkbook in the hands of the world's richest man, and his message about wasteful government spending has been clear.
Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that.
How much do you think we can rip out?
I think we can do at least $2 trillion.
The official who oversaw the federal payment system has been placed on administrative leave after he resisted giving Musk and Doge officials access to the system, which contains sensitive information about millions of Americans who receive Social Security, tax refunds, and other government payments. While Musk's team has access, it has not yet gained operational control of the system, and no government payments have been blocked. That could trigger a legal battle since the money is approved by Congress. Musk has also said he wants to get rid of the penny, noting that the 1-cent coin costs nearly 3 cents to produce.
Elon's doing a good job. He's a big cost cutter.
This weekend, Musk also taking aim at the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, which is in charge of dispensing tens of billions of dollars in foreign aid. Musk writing USAID is a criminal organization. Time for it to die.
To be clear, in shutting down which we're in the process of doing, shutting down USAID.
About 100 staffers were placed on leave after the agency refused to give Musk's team access to classified material. The team was eventually given that access. The Trump administration has already faced legal hurdles while pushing to gain more control of government spending. Just last week, Trump's executive action freezing federal grants and loans was blocked by the courts.
Christian Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Stay with us. Still to come, the likely cause of a fire downtown that left 3 people without a home this morning. That and some other stories you might have missed after the break. Also coming up, another head of a federal department fired. How Lowcountry representatives are reacting this morning.
Storm Tracker's certified most accurate weather forecast.
Of course, you've been hearing me say it all morning long. You know, we're dealing with that dense fog here in the low country. It's widespread and it is very dense, where this morning we've got about a half-mile visibility or less. This fog will stick around through the mid to late morning hours. It'll burn off. We're left with more sunshine through your Monday afternoon, but notice by this evening we'll start to see that fog develop once again, and that will continue to spread a little bit further inland into the overnight hours. So going to be looking at that fog potential not only for this morning, but for tonight into tomorrow morning as well. And you've been hearing me say all morning, you know, slow it down and everything, right? I'm just giving you these tips so that you're safe. I care about your safety. I'm not trying to be annoying. So allow yourself some extra time this morning. Give yourself a few extra minutes as you step out the door. Slow it down, use extra caution, and make sure you leave a little bit of distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. And always remember to never use your high beam headlights when traveling through that fog. Always use your low beams and or your fog lights.
6:25 right now. Let's take a look at some stories you might have missed. A bicyclist died Saturday after a deadly crash in Beaufort County. State troopers say it happened just before 3 p.m. on Pebble Beach Cove. A 2016 Ram pickup truck was going east when they hit a person on a bike. That truck also hit a 2018 Jeep Compass that was parked. The bicyclist died at the scene. We're waiting to learn their name and whether any charges have been filed. 3 people are without a home this morning after a fire on Cannon Street. The fire marshal's office determined it was started by a candle on the first floor of the home. Flames were first reported at about 6 a.m. yesterday. Several departments responded, including Charleston and Mount Pleasant Fire, Charleston County EMS, and Charleston Police. Officials found smoke and flames venting from the 2-story single-family home. They were able to get the fire under control 20 minutes after crews got there. Still to come, sweeping taxes against 3 of our country's largest trade partners. What's set to happen tomorrow and how it could impact your wallet. Conley will break it all down at the live desk in just a few moments. And later, affordable housing on Folly Beach. The ideas being discussed tonight by city leaders.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Sunday evening in Albany, with an inch of new snow measured just before this video was taken. On Groundhog Day, when many wondered if 6 more weeks of winter would be in the cards or an early spring, Bo the dog always chooses spring, as a matter of tradition. And in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, this deer swiped snacks meant for birdies on a cold winter's day.
For more content like this, subscribe to the National Weather Desk's YouTube channel.
Starting to see a little bit more red out on those traffic maps this morning. This is pretty typical for this time of morning, right? Especially on a Monday, everybody's getting back to work. The most congestion that you're going to see and that I'm seeing on those cameras going to be along 526 eastbound this morning, and that's because of a crash. So let me give you a little bit of info in case you are just now tuning in. So DOT reporting a crash on 526 eastbound over by exit 19. That's going to be over by North Rhett, closer to Virginia Avenue, and you can see that traffic is creeping and crawling, and at times it does come to a stop. So you're going to need to prepare for delays. I'm seeing that traffic along 26 eastbound slowing down as you're merging onto 526 because of this crash. So seeing some congestion in this area, and of course along Savannah Highway southbound over by Beas Ferry Main Road, that area. So use caution out there, especially where it is so foggy. I just went through all of the traffic cameras. Once you get past this crash on 526 eastbound, you're smooth sailing as you work your way over the Don Holt. And then 26 eastbound this morning, you're looking, you're going to start tapping those brakes around Royal Road 201 area, and then that will be slow going through the interchange. And then once you get past the interchange, that traffic starts to thin out. You're looking a little bit better as you make your way on into the crosstown and coming over the Ravenel Bridge into Mount Pleasant.
This News Board Traffic Tracker Update was sponsored by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician.
And not only are we seeing, that congestion because of that crash, but we're also seeing some slowdowns because of that dense fog. We do have that dense fog advisory in effect until 9 o'clock this morning for the entire low country. So we look at that visibility, about a half-mile visibility or less throughout the entire low country. So take it easy out there and remember to just slow it down. Otherwise, we're off to a dry but chilly start to our day. Temperatures in the upper 30s to low to mid 40s. I know it's only Monday, but we're looking ahead to your weekend forecast, looking at a mix of sun and clouds with small rain chances in the forecast. Temperatures look to stay above average in the low to mid 70s. We're going to take one more full look at that forecast, talk about what's on tap for the week ahead coming up here in just a little bit.
President Donald Trump is making good on one of his campaign promises, imposing major tariffs on 3 of our biggest trading partners. He blames China, Canada, and Mexico for trade imbalances and the flow of illegal drugs and migrants into the U.S. As of Tuesday, items coming from Mexico and Canada will be taxed 25%. Items from China will be taxed 10%. Economists say the tariffs could cost American households on average up to $1,500 extra per year as businesses pass down higher cost. To retaliate, Canada is issuing a 25% tariff on more than $100 billion of American goods. Mexico is expected to have a similar response. Trump says he is speaking with Canada's Prime Minister and Mexico's President today.
Important discussions are happening tonight on Folly. Last year, the Planning Commission was tasked with exploring options to address affordable housing, and tonight leaders will finalize ideas. Lauren Lennon joining us from Folly Beach with more on the options being discussed during tonight's Planning Commission meeting. Lauren.
Yeah, good morning, Mel. After hearing from local experts, doing research on the area, and actually getting feedback from the community, the Planning Commission will come together tonight at City Hall to vote and finalize these recommendations regarding affordable housing. Now, I spoke with a city official who walked me through and detailed the recommendations they'll be discussing tonight. One being a possible housing stipend increase for public safety workers, as well as an increase to the amount overall so more people can actually qualify for the stipend. Another, participating in the National Lease to Locals program, where municipalities pay homeowners directly to incentivize them to turn their houses either from short-term rentals to long-term rentals or from an empty second home to a long-term rental.
It is in resort towns that have the problems that Folly does. A heavy tourist area with a rising, extremely fast rising housing prices. We're built out. We can't build, high rises here. We don't have the space. We don't have the land. And so that's one of the other restrictions that makes us different, and why this Lease to Local program is a good idea for us, or might be helpful for Folly.
Now, the third recommendation includes different ways to potentially allow accessory dwelling units. She said more details on what exactly that will look like will be covered tonight. Now, Stevens emphasized that these are just recommendations right now. City Council has the authority to implement them. So during tonight's planning meeting at 7 p.m., members will only vote to finalize these recommendations. Then a report will be presented to City Council at their next council meeting next week. And that just kind of gives them an idea of what the Planning Commission has in mind ahead of budget season. Working for you in Folly Beach, Lauren Lennon, News 4.
All right, Lauren, thank you. A Hugie man who police say harassed Hispanic men in a now viral video is out of jail this morning. At one point in the video, the man appears to take the driver's keys so he couldn't leave. Emily Deanne was there as Sean Michael Emmerich Johnson made his first court appearance.
Sean Michael Emmerich Johnson faces a slew of charges, including felony kidnapping and impersonating an ICE officer. His family was in court and says he faces many mental health challenges.
And he has requests. He's told us that he needs help, and he has tried to get help, but he needs to continue with that therapy.
Johnson's family asked the judge to let their son out of jail so he could seek treatment. Sullivan's Island police say Johnson turned himself in late Friday night. He is charged with felony kidnapping, impersonating a law enforcement officer, larceny, and third-degree assault and battery. The video went viral earlier this week after police say Johnson impersonated an ICE officer.
You got caught, boy. Where you from, Mexico? You from Mexico? You're going back.
In court, the public defender said Johnson was extremely sorry for his actions. His family says they know he has mental health and alcohol issues and want to help him receive the treatment he needs.
He turned himself in, Your Honor, and I can guarantee he's not going to be a flight risk, and he's not a danger to the community. He lives right down the road from me.
I'm mindful of his need for treatment, but I'm also mindful that the indicia of danger to others is certainly there by those two charges.
The judge said in an effort to help Johnson seek treatment, she would grant him bond. Johnson was given a $20,000 bond for kidnapping, a $10,000 bond for impersonating a law enforcement officer, a nearly $2,000 bond for assault, and a $500 bond for petty larceny. Johnson is expected to appear in court next on March 4th on Sullivan's Island. Working for you, Emily Deanne, News 4.
With us still to come on Good Morning Charleston, a look at what is happening in the Low Country during your weekly rundown. We'll be right back.
Dozens of victims' families gathering for a memorial ceremony on the runway at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, the crash site where 67 people tragically lost their lives. That crash between a Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines plane, the deadliest crash in the United States in nearly a quarter century. So far, 55 bodies have been recovered. Now, what caused the crash is still unknown. The National Transportation Safety Board says some of the most trusted location data shows the crash happened at just over 300 feet. That's higher than the 200 feet the helicopter was supposed to be flying at. But data shows a conflicting altitude reading in the tower radar, which the air traffic controller was looking at before the crash. Officials say they plan to start removing the wreckage from the crash site today.
6:41 right now. Let's take a look at the week ahead. Tomorrow, the South Carolina Department of Education Board is set to vote on whether 4 more books should be removed from school library shelves. Those 4 books: Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, Flamer by Mike Corrado, and Push by Sapphire. We'll keep you updated on what's decided. Friday is Wear Red Day. It's a day to bring awareness of the #1 killer of women in the U.S., heart disease. It's important to know the risk for women is different than men. We'll have more about the important tips you need to be on the lookout for Friday on Good Morning Charleston. And looking ahead to the weekend, South Carolina State University will commemorate the 57th anniversary of the Orangeburg Massacre Saturday morning in the Martin Luther King Jr. Auditorium. In 1968, a civil rights protest at SC State turned deadly when highway patrolmen opened fire on about 200 unarmed black students. 3 people were killed, 28 others injured. South Carolina State alumnus Dr. Willis Seaham is the keynote speaker. Still to come, a tariff showdown. The taxes set to go into place tonight at midnight, and how Canada and Mexico are retaliating.
Been watching that crash there on 526 around exit 19 North Rhett. That's just before the Don Holt Bridge. Still seeing that traffic backed up, and when we look at the next camera here in just 1 second, you'll see that traffic even backed up onto 26 eastbound as you merge onto 526. I was still seeing some first responders out there just a minute or 2 ago, so keeping a very close eye on this. I think they are going to start to clear this crash here shortly. Again, this is going to be 526 eastbound just before the Don Holt Bridge. And you can see that traffic. I mean, it's hard to see because it's foggy and of course it's still dark out, but you can see on that overpass there, that traffic creeping and crawling. And of course, as you are merging onto 526 from 26, that's where you're going to see that slowdown. So allow yourself a little bit of extra time. You want to do that regardless this morning because of that dense fog. So give yourself a little bit of extra time, slow it down, and use extra caution. Continuing to see that volume build there on 26 eastbound, going to take you about an hour and 48 minutes right now on 526 from West Ashley to Mount Pleasant.
This News 4 Traffic Tracker Update was sponsored by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician.
And speaking of that dense fog, you know, even though that sun's starting to come up, you still can't see anything out of this camera. So I've been showing you this one all morning long. This is on top of the Hotel Indigo here in Mount Pleasant. You can normally see the Ravenel Bridge. You can see the Charleston Harbor, you know, the downtown skyline. You're not seeing that this morning because of how dense that fog is. 42 degrees right now in Charleston. So we've got that dense fog advisory in effect until 9 o'clock this morning for the entire low country. And that's because we're seeing about a mile visibility or less. So widespread dense fog, and we'll be monitoring the potential for more fog development into overnight tonight. Otherwise, we are dry, but certainly chilly. 39 in Moncks Corner and Walterboro, 42 in Charleston, 43 in Somerville, and 44 down towards Beaufort. We look ahead to the rest of your day. We're going to be nice and mild with highs in the lower 70s away from the coast. Along the beaches, we're going to see those temperatures in the lower to middle 60s. So that fog sticks around through about the mid to late morning hours. Once that burns off, we've got plenty of sunshine in the forecast for your afternoon. But again, going to be watching for that potential development of fog going into overnight tonight. We look to stay mainly dry through the week. I think if anything, we'll see maybe an isolated shower as we close out the week as a cold front looks to approach the area. In terms of those temperatures, we're going to be well above average for this time of year. Our average high, 62 degrees, will be in the low to mid 70s, possibly some upper 70s. So that mixed with that sunshine and a few clouds in the forecast, looking like a great week. Get out there and enjoy it.
In a one-way street. We subsidize Canada by the tune of about $200 billion a year. And for what? What do we get out of it? We don't get anything out of it. I love the people of Canada. I disagree with the leadership of Canada. And something's going to happen there. But if they want to play the game, I don't mind. We can play the game all they want.
President Donald Trump doing exactly what he promised he'd do on his campaign trail. He's launching a trade war with two of our country's closest neighbors, Mexico and Canada. Trump announced 25% tariffs on goods from both countries starting just after midnight tomorrow. Canada is the largest export market for 36 of our states, and Mexico is America's largest trading partner. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau responded over the weekend, not mincing any words. He said President Trump's decision to impose 25% tariffs on Canadian goods will hurt Americans. Trudeau said Canada will respond in kind and slap a 25% tariff on American goods coming into his country.
This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives.
President Trump said yesterday these tariffs on Mexico are, quote, retaliatory to a certain extent. He noted millions of people have entered the U.S. through Mexico and Canada and made it clear his administration will continue to fight back against that, these tariffs being part of that effort. Later today, Mexico is set to unveil details on its retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods. That's according to a statement by the Mexican president. President Claudia Sheinbaum made it clear Mexico doesn't want confrontation. She says if the United States wants to combat criminal groups, our countries must work together. She's asking America to share responsibility and work with trust and respect for each other's people. President Trump plans to speak with leaders in Canada and Mexico today, but he's not expected to change his mind. In other political news, President Trump fired the director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. A source says Rohit Chopra was notified of his termination in an email from the White House Saturday. He later announced his departure in a social media post which included a letter addressed to Trump. Chopra was appointed by President Joe Biden in 2021, and his term was supposed to run through late next year. However, a 2020 Supreme Court ruling gave the president the power to fire the director without cause. Senator Tim Scott called this great news for American consumers, posting to X in part, quote, I look forward to working with the next director of the CFPB to increase accountability at the Bureau and deliver for the American people. This morning, 2 top security officials at the U.S. Agency for International Development are on administrative leave. The move came after they refused to allow officials from Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency to access systems at the agency. Sources say the DOGE personnel wanted to gain access to security systems and personnel files. 2 sources said they also wanted to access classified information. Senator Lindsey Graham commented on the sweeping changes to departments the Trump administration has made so far, writing to X in part, quote, President Trump should be able to put people in management positions that share his vision of America first, adding there is nothing unusual about cleaning house after an election, especially in this case.
New overnight, the cockpit voice recorder, commonly known as Black Box, has been recovered from the medical jet that crashed in Northeast Philadelphia. The National Transportation Safety Board says the box was found 8 feet underground inside this crater at the site of impact. Now, flight radar data shows that the jet was in the air for just under a minute. The jet was returning to Mexico after a child on board was treated at a nearby hospital. All 6 people on the plane and 1 person on the ground were killed. At least 22 people are injured, 3 in critical condition.
Happening tonight, Folly Beach leaders are set to finalize recommendations that could bring more affordable housing to the island. Lauren Lennon spoke with city officials and joins us outside of Folly Beach's city council chambers. Lauren, what can you tell us about these recommendations?
Well, Mel, a city official tells me that the Planning Commission was tasked with addressing affordable housing in the area last year. She says since then, they've been meeting monthly to learn about the issue. They've heard from local experts and also gotten feedback from the community. Now, the 3 recommendations that will be discussed tonight include 1, a possible housing stipend increase for public safety workers, as well as an increase to the amount overall so more people can actually qualify for the stipend. Another, participating in the National Lease to Locals program, where homeowners are incentivized to turn their houses either from short-term rentals to long-term rentals or from an empty second home to a long-term rental. And third, different ways to potentially allow accessory dwelling units, which are living spaces on the same lot as single-family residential spaces. Now, more details on what that would look like will be discussed tonight.
The idea is that for the people who are wanting to address this and to help this, the idea is that these people who are the backbone of our economy should have housing available to them that is closer in. It makes them part of our community and gives them better options for locations.
Now, one restriction unique to Folly that comes up during the discussion of affordable housing is that as a resort town, Stevens says they are, quote, built out. She explains they don't have the space or land to incorporate buildings like high rises. Now, Stevens emphasized that these are just recommendations as of now. City Council has the authority to implement them. Now, during tonight's planning meeting at 7 p.m., members will only vote to finalize these recommendations before they present them to City Council at their next council meeting next week. Reporting in Folly Beach, Lauren Lennon, News 4.
Speaking of housing, this afternoon, the City of Charleston's Design Review Board will meet to consider 2 proposals that would bring more homes to the Lowcountry. One would be in West Ashley, the other on James Island. The West Ashley proposal would bring 11 affordable housing units to Ashley River Road. The James Island proposal is for a 4-story building with 61 potential units along Maybank Highway. The meeting starts at 4:30 downtown. Also today, several groups will remove and destroy abandoned boats in our Lowcountry waterways. The State Department of Natural Resources, Charleston Harbor Police, Charleston County Service Department, Charleston County Landfill, and the Wounded Nature Group are going to pull these boats out of the water. This is happening at the Limehouse Boat Ramp, and it starts at 9 o'clock this morning. Charleston?
Again, we're starting off with widespread dense fog. We've got that dense fog advisory in effect until 9 o'clock this morning. Once that burns off mid to late morning, we'll see mostly sunny skies around for the day ahead. Temperatures in the lower 70s, a little bit cooler along the beaches in the low to mid 60s. We head into your Tuesday. Again, I think we'll start off with some areas of dense fog for your Tuesday morning. That will give way to mostly sunny skies. Temperatures in the middle to possibly upper 70s through the afternoon. will bring back very, very small rain chances, partly cloudy skies as we head through the middle and end of your week, even into the weekend. Temperatures, though, we're going to stay above average in the low to mid, and again, possibly upper 70s.
So exciting.
I know.
It's gonna be beautiful.
I'm already making plans for next week.
I am too.
It's going to be beautiful out there.
Oh my gosh, just to think it was snowing
2 weeks ago.
Wow. All right, thanks for joining us on Good Morning Charleston. Good Morning America is next.
We honor America with our pledge, brought to you by Miss Jennings' second grade class. Have a good one.